Be ready to start you down if you end up getting too high up. And now we've got that just over to our left hand side with the nice Prince Street Gardens going just down the as well. Put a little bandstand there, just over to our left. Normally, as we have rugby celebrations here in the city, and you'll see a couple of plays and band performing there as well. Now, you must have heard about the gardens. Really been here for 300 years. Prior to that, in the 1300s, King James II of Scotland made this into a massive rock, right? And that was like a huge body of water that essentially acted as a moat to the castle. Now, this would make it even harder to invade the fortress that was Edinburgh Castle, as it was nigh on impossible to get right up to the very top, especially with how slippery you'd be as your hands would be swimming about in all of that water and gully that would have been settled at the very bottom of the rock. So, not a particularly nice place to invade, and it just goes to show how powerful the Scots were, especially in the medieval age. People who try and invade the castle would have been the English or the Vikings and stuff like that in the city, and that's just along to your left-hand side just there. So quite a nice part of the city to check out just here. So as we now come forward into the very top of Prince Street just here, we've got St John's Church just along to your left hand side, and this is one of the oldest churches in the city today. Back in the 1800s, you'll see quite a lot of work on the homeless community done inside of that church, and it serves as a very nice metaphor as the welcoming of a city where it is. Now we'll just be going around into stop number 5 here, and this is a stop for Lothian Road. So if anyone's hopping off here, then just give us a small wave, or press the stop button if you like down below. Over to your left hand side, and we've got St Cuthbert's Church, and you've also got quite a nice view of Edinburgh Castle there as well. That's worth checking out as well. Now St Cuthbert's was built on the oldest site of Christian worship in the city, dating back to 700 AD. The kirkyards that surround the church date back to around the 11 or 1200s, so you can see some of the old graves in there, which date back to maybe 800 or 900 years ago. And it's a real testament to the people who still care for the graves as to just how well maintained they are. Over to your right hand side, and we've got the Caledonian Hotel, made of this beautiful red sandstone that we've got there, just over on your right hand side. It finds itself on the corner on Prince Street today, and it's got about 400 rooms in there, and it's one of the most expensive hotels in the city. Just like the Balmoral that we saw at the beginning of the tour, this was built in the early 1900s, back in around 1903, so just a year after the Balmoral, as a kind of rivalry, and kind of quite a strong rivalry ever since. So, an absolutely massive hotel there that's still famous in the city today. Over on your left hand side, and we've now also got just on the corner here a watchtower that would look out for people known as the body snatchers. They would go around at Edinburgh graves in the 1700s, and they would steal the bodies of the recently deceased, right? So a lot of what we know about modern day human anatomy and stuff like that was from bodies that would be sold to surgeons at the university, and they would go and steal from graveyards right around the city. So, big towers like the ones we see over to your left hand side would have been there to go make sure that nobody could steal from the graves in the dead of the night. This road that we go over to our left here, that'll go right down into these old jousting grounds to the city. Back in the 15 or 1600s, the kings and queens of Scotland would all meet outside of the castle, and they would invite the judges from each village or town to go and fight for the honour of their village, which is why Normally we do the long straight piece road. Now we've got just one to your left. As we come over, we know here, this was built in just one day by a military general on the side.